I want to tell you something that most financial commentators won't say out loud. The crisis of 2026 has already started. It didn't begin with a market crash, a bank failure, or a headline you saw on the news. It began the moment most people stopped asking the right questions. I've lived through many storms: 1969, 1987, the dot-com collapse, 2008, and every single time the people who were hurt the worst weren't the ones who got unlucky. They were the ones who didn't see the pattern forming years before the wave finally hit. That's what I want to talk about today. Not the crisis you're reading about right now, but the one building underneath it, quietly, like a fault line beneath a city where everyone is too busy to notice the tremors. Think about the ocean before a tsunami strikes. Something unusual happens. The water pulls back from the shore. Fish are suddenly stranded on the beach. Most people see that and they walk toward it, curious and pointing. Then the wave comes. Right now, the water is pulling back from the shore. What I'm about to explain may sound strange because it's not about inflation charts or interest rate predictions. It's about 5 invisible systems that are reshaping financial lives in 2026 that almost nobody is explaining in plain language. Financial crises are never purely economic. They are psychological first, then behavioral, then economic. By the time the newspapers write about it, the real damage is already done. The first trap is the illusion of stability. This is dangerous because it doesn't feel like danger. It feels like everything is fine. You have a job, a home, and the bills are paid. But complacency creates catastrophe, and complacency is where catastrophe is born. Just like a muscle that atrophies when it isn't challenged, your financial resilience weakens when you are too comfortable. In the years before 2008, the housing market felt like an escalator that only went up. People took on debt because debt had never hurt them. The crisis didn't start in September 2008, it started in 2004 when nobody asked the hard questions. Right now, I see the same pattern. People are operating on autopilot, assuming their jobs and spending habits are permanent. You must stress test your life before life stress tests you. Ask yourself, what would happen if I lost my job tomorrow, or if my largest asset lost 40% of its value? The second trap is the velocity trap. This is the exhaustion of someone working as hard as they ever have, yet ending each month with no more security than the year before. It is confusing movement with progress. Imagine rowing a boat with a hole in the bottom. Rowing harder doesn't fix the hole. In 2026, the holes are purchasing power erosion, lifestyle inflation, and high-interest debt. If you are carrying credit card debt at 20% while trying to save, you are losing the mathematical battle before you even start. Stop measuring progress by how much you earn. Start measuring it by your net flow, the difference between what comes in and what actually stays. The third trap is the crowd psychology engine. We are social animals programmed to follow the tribe for survival. In the modern world, social media and real-time news cycles amplify this instinct into a machine of synchronized behavior. When markets fall, the noise amplifies fear and millions sell at the bottom. When they rise, everyone chases returns at the peak. The speed of this engine has increased dramatically. In a high-noise environment, the most valuable skill is the ability to do nothing, to sit still and make decisions based on data, not the emotional temperature of the crowd. The fourth trap is the compounding blind spot. Everyone knows the idea of money growing, but few understand that compounding works in reverse. If you carry $15,000 in debt at 22%, you aren't just paying interest, you are losing the silent forfeit, the money that $15,000 could have grown into over 20 years. Every year of delay in building your foundation is an actively expensive year. The person who understands compounding doesn't ask how much they will make this year. They ask how much runway they have. They think in decades, not quarters. The fifth trap is the invisible tax. This isn't what goes to the government, it's the fees, convenience premiums, and inertia costs that drain your wealth. A 1% investment fee can strip $300,000 from a retirement account over 30 years. The subscription economy and low-yield savings accounts in an inflationary environment are silent drains on your margin. These forces create a financial gravity that pulls you down while you sleep. To escape these traps, you need a framework, not a get-rich-quick trick. Stage 1 is clarity. Conduct an honest audit. Where are you assuming stability? Is your effort producing net progress? What decisions were based on emotion? Stage 2 is structural repair. This is surgical. Attack the highest interest debt and eliminate the invisible taxes. Move idle cash to where it can actually work. Stage 3 is building systems, not relying on willpower. Motivation fades, but systems, like automatic transfers and contributions, remove the need for active decision-making, which is where the crowd psychology engine usually interferes. Finally, stage 4 is compounding aggressively in the right vehicles. For most, this means low-cost, broadly diversified, long-duration equity exposure. It's boring, but it works because of discipline and time. The 2026 crisis is real, but it is a crisis of clarity and psychological sovereignty. The people who build lasting wealth are not the smartest, they are the most self-aware. They are the ones who recognize the pattern when the water pulls back from the shore and prepare while others walk toward the beach. The choice to respond with intelligence and intention starts today. Make it wisely.